The woke Irish mainstream media has finally woken up. No pun intended. Today, we have the video from News Talk. They have finally cracked. Today, we have a video from News Talk Radio, of course, the most woke Irish mainstream media in the whole country. This one is called, Do We Need More Hate Speech Laws in Ireland? And unbelievably, all the presenters say no, we do not need more hate speech laws. And actually, it's causing more division. So a few weeks ago, for the second time, Justice Minister Jim O'Callaghan said, we will not be implementing these draconian EU laws into the country. In my personal opinion, that's because they can't police them. We don't have enough police to arrest the sexual predators and these foreign migrants coming in, assaulting and killing all of our women and children. How do you think they're going to police people speaking on the internet and to each other in real life? But the EU has now come back for the third time and they have said we have to implement these laws, and they're pressuring the Irish government. And I think in the background somewhere, JD Vance or Donald Trump told the Irish government, do not bring in hate speech laws, do not bring in these laws, or else we will pay big time, or else you will be sanctioned big time. I think some big elite figure in the US is pressuring the Irish government not to bring them in and to have a fair, understanding media so people like me can spread my voice. The second thing I noticed about this video is every single comment has now said, no, 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 we hate you, you woke mainstream media. No, we're winning now, guys. I'm so excited about this. We are winning. Something happened last week when that 10-year-old girl was assaulted by that foreign migrant posing as a security guard who should have been deported 8 months ago. The Irish people, we have woken up big time. That event last week changed society. You could feel it in the air. It changed the people, and there's no going back. We are gonna win. Keep fighting, keep coming together, guys. If there's somebody on our side, do not fight with them. Keep pushing the message. Bring people together, guys.
It's political cowardice now to run scared of this. The European Commission Against Racism and Intolerance has called for new legislative measures punishing hate speech in Ireland. Obviously, the hate bill of last year was quietly dropped.
I'm kind of glad that it was quietly dropped and that there are no plans to revisit it. Of course, being obnoxious, being racist, those things are wrong. Of course, going out of your way to offend people, insult them, etc. are wrong. But trying to police the speech of people is incredibly difficult. Yes. I do think...
See the way she said it's incredibly difficult? These woke people, they kind of still want to bring it in, but they know it's not going to happen. We don't have the resources in Ireland to catch criminals and killers and murderers and gang members that are living abroad. You think we have the resources to police speech now? Not going to happen, lads. Not going to happen. Not in this lifetime or the next.
That there are dangers in all of this. I think there are dangers in creating a hierarchy of victimhood. I think there are dangers in creating one group of people who are protected in a different way to another group of people. I think what we really should be going for is equality for people. And that is not to say that racism isn't an issue. I'm not suggesting for one moment that it isn't. But one of the things that this group has said is that they think that hate speech is causing division and everything. I actually think that people trying to suppress free speech is causing division just as much as hate speech is. I have no desire to hear more racism out there. I have no desire to hear more hate. I have no desire to express it myself in any way. I'm not saying that for this reason, but I think this is deeply problematic.
We should do nothing. The legislation we're depending on is the Incitement to Hatred Act 1989. That's pre-internet, that's pre-immigration to this country. Like that bill that was brought forward last year was deeply flawed. Back then we were so terrified of the authoritarian strain of the left, we were dancing to their tune. Now we're terrified of the intolerant right, and we're now doing nothing. We've gone from one extreme to the other. And hate is festering online. There's absolutely no doubt about it. The protest last week didn't come out of nowhere. And we have to have the tools to prosecute people who are inciting hate.
People who should be prosecuted are people who are actually trying to incite somebody to attack and be violent to other people. That's what I think.
Well, we've seen that. We've seen that in the last few years.
But every time somebody says something, obnoxious or insulting, I don't want to see that prosecuted.
I don't either. But you can legislate for this. You can do a better job than we did last year.
So far, we haven't managed to. I fear
So the man right here on News Talk is more cooked than the woman. And if he says that we've seen people incite violence to other people, can you give us an example, Mr. Cook? Or are you just making shit up again?
Entirely the chilling effect that this will have on free speech. I don't know how they're going to define hate because they failed miserably to do so the last time that they tried.
It's political cowardice now to run scared of this.
I love the way he said it. We're now scared of the right. Guys, I love it. This is just working out perfectly. I told you, stick to our playbook. It's going to work out perfectly, guys. We are winning. They're scared. It's all coming to a hilt now. And we've won, basically. The fight is over, basically. But keep pushing, in my personal opinion. When News Talk and RT and these mainstream platforms start putting out videos like this, you know they're running scared. You know that they're losing this battle, guys. It's not even going to be winnable for them. Secondly, the woman in this video also said, we don't want to see people being obnoxious, racist, whatever, homophobic. I don't want to do that either, guys. Always hold yourself professionally. If you're in public, absolutely be professional, guys. Leave the obnoxious behavior to me on the internet. I'm just joking. But obviously, we want to be professional in real life, guys, and on the internet. But at the same time, do you want to see people go to jail for being obnoxious to people? No, I wouldn't even want that. Even if people were obnoxious to me every day of my life, I wouldn't want people to go to jail and be incarcerated for that, like they've done to Enoch Burke. We actually have a headline here from the Irish Times themselves saying, hate speech by politicians, escalating tensions in Ireland, report finds. So this weird NGO European group tells Ireland that we need to introduce new legislative measures punishing hate speech as a matter of priority. Why is that? They know, guys, we're winning this pushback and they can't handle it. It's basically now Trump's US versus this corrupt EU, UN dictatorship that they're trying to bring into every country in the Western world. It also says at the bottom of this article, hate speech, including some politicians' reactions to events in local communities, is fueling hatred and escalating tensions in Ireland, a new report has found. So they're always doing these reports on what the hell is going on in the country, except we never get to see the reports. It's all just hearsay, of course. Nonsense. Bollocks, I would say. The hate speech in question is widespread. It spans across news media, online platforms, and politics, according to European Commission Against Racism and Intolerance. Report published on Tuesday. Sure it was. Most discriminatory content was motivated by anti-migrant, anti-refugee, asylum seeker sentiments, the report said. Complete nonsense, guys. We're just objecting to this mass illegal migration situation, which is bringing thousands of people into the country, destroying culture, heritage, increasing the crime rate, a clear link between this mass illegal immigration and also crime. We've had a woman in City West which erupted in riots after the fact because a 26-year-old illegal man who should have been deported 8 months ago sexually assaulted a young Irish girl of 10 years old. How horrendous and disgusting is that? And it just keeps getting worse and worse for the mainstream media, lads. Look at this. From Irish Independent, just published today, Tuesday the 28th of October. It says, new series of payments issued uncovered at RTE. I mean, this is probably the 15th article I've seen about this. Number of unorthodox payments of up to 30,000 identified in the report. That means there's a lot of different, there could be 50, 100, 300 payments, unorthodox payments of 30,000 each. That could be flipping hundreds of millions. Who the hell knows? Pensions top-ups paid to family member of former senior executive. Oh yeah, the brown paper envelopes are flowing. They're just being handed out like flipping Skittles. Question marks over land and ownership of valuable artwork. They have thousands of pieces of artwork here and they're not giving it to the rightful owners. They're selling it to different countries. They're making millions off this stuff. The corruption is next level stuff in this country. And we, the independent media, day by day, eroding the media down. We are going to win, guys. Never, ever stop fighting. We are going to win. This makes me so happy when I see stuff like this, guys. I'll tell you. Right now, we're the laughing stock of the world because of Catherine Connolly being elected. But a lot of people in Ireland on the left think that they're winning. No, you're not winning. You guys are losing sorely. We are the laughing stock of the world, like I just said. News reports here from Sky News in Australia giving their thoughts on this is just roasting the country completely. The left are dead in this country. They're dead in the water. The right are gaining momentum every single day. We are pushing forward like a strong river in a current without its dam. We're pushing forward. We're never going to give up.
Ireland has just elected a hard left president, Esther. She calls Israel a terrorist state, but says the Hamas terrorist group is part of the fabric of Palestinian society, and the British Prime Minister, like ours, should not be demanding Hamas be banned from governing a future Palestinian state. Here she is.
I'm asking you this morning why you would say Hamas is part of the fabric of the Palestinian.
I'll try and answer that for you as best I can. They are part of
the civil society of Palestine.
Do you
that have
regard
been
them as a
backed.
terrorist organisation?
They are prescribed as a terrorist organisation.
Do you accept that? Do you agree with that designation?
That's the designation. Israel is acting as a terrorist state.
Well, that is now Ireland's new president in a landslide win on the weekend. What do you make of that?
I mean, I think I'll give Ireland a little bit of grace in that she won basically off a technicality, and they had a record number of spoiled ballots.
This lady right here, she completely destroys Catherine Connolly. It's legendary, so much love to her. She says that it was won off a spoiled vote, 100%. Maria Steen and Catherine Connolly were actually polling both at about 23% each. And then, of course, she wasn't allowed into the race. The spoiled votes kind of had to take over. There wasn't even a spoiled vote campaign yet pushed by people such as myself. So it was really early days that she won. She won off a technicality. If Maria Steen was allowed into the race, oh my goodness, she would have won by a landslide easily.
For the very reason that you can imagine, the anger, the palpable anger amongst the many Irish voters, it cannot be understated. That being said, she's basically Ireland's answer to Jeremy Corbyn. She is a complete walking disaster. To even have a go at Keir Starmer, who's not known for being a conservative, by the way, for saying that Hamas should have no part of ruling Gaza, it's quite incredible to me. I mean, really, that I don't even think Jeremy Corbyn would say something like that, which is saying something. But you know, she holds the typical fashionable views of the hard left in Ireland. She's hostile to the UK, even though they don't complain about all the freebies they get from the UK and the security guarantees that they get from the UK. She's hostile to the US, even though all the tech bros from the US are basically propping up Ireland's economy.
100%. I've said this before. She's really on the ball. I mean, England is right next to Ireland, so she kind of knows the crack. And obviously, she's on Piers Morgan's show as a regular. She's a more right-leaning person. I like her a lot. She's very right-leaning, actually. She said that the tech bros, you know, you have Facebook, Instagram, you have all these big YouTube, you have Google that are propping up Ireland's kind of business, Microsoft. All these businesses are basically keeping Ireland's economy, but it's only by a thread as well. That fine thread, if that was to get cut tomorrow, Ireland would be plunged back into the 1840s, where we have to be eating potatoes for breakfast, lunch and dinner.
And taking advantage of their record low corporate tax rates, which if we had in the UK politicians with brains, they would be seeking to emulate that, because many of them will probably be put off by her very left-wing views. She fashionably helped banks repossess people's homes, but apparently that's not a crime amongst left-wing people, because now that she's joined the ranks of the hard left, that's apparently forgivable.
Yeah, perfectly well said. You know, she actually repossessed a lot of people's homes when she was working as a barrister, Irish people's homes, during the 2008 crash. I remember myself, my family, we had a very hard time for about 10 years from 2008, 2007 onwards, during the crash, during the austerity of not hiring teachers. Like, nobody that I knew could get a job here in this country. And we just arrived here to this country a few years prior to that, guys. We had a very hard time, in Galway. So I understand this. And for her to be taking house off families, it hits me deeper, because I would know the feeling. We didn't lose my house or anything, but it was a very hard time for a long time. Okay, at least 10 years for me and my family here.
She's a typical, champagne socialist, and I don't think she's going to get much traction in Ireland, who have no patience for this type of politics anymore, really.
Oh, dear, Ireland, though, but it's foreign policy, signing the condolence book for the death of Hitler and all that. I mean, seriously, it's hard to exaggerate.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand that. We signed the condolences book for Hitler. A lot of people don't know the history of Ireland. I'm very in touch with our history here, so bizarre stuff. I'm not really sure why we did that still to this day. They said, oh, it was a formality. Not at all, guys. That's not a formality. Like I said before, you don't have to do anything in life. Catherine Connolly didn't have to repossess homes off beautiful Irish families, not putting Irish first once again. Not putting the Irish people first once again. If she didn't put Irish people first when it comes to the housing crisis and kicking Irish people out of their homes as a barrister, why would you think that all these years later that she's going to do that?
Meanwhile, how chaotic the UK Labour government's handling of illegal immigration is there. So I know we talked about this before. It's leading record numbers of illegal immigrants on boats, housing many of them at hotels. Last week, it accidentally released one illegal immigrant who'd been jailed for the sexual assault of a 14-year-old girl. Now, he's finally been recaptured after 2 days, but what on earth does all this say?
It says that this country is being ruled by incompetence more than anything. I think the most insulting part of it is the fact that this government is treating it as he's been recaptured. You let him out. You let this man out. This is the man, let's not forget, whose arrest kicked off the protest outside the Epping Bell Hotel, which was known for housing migrants. This man's arrest was the catalyst for that, and somehow he was let out. And the UK media has been awash over the last few days saying, oh, there's a manhunt searching for this man. What do you mean manhunt? You let him out with a cell phone and £50 to go about his merry way.
Same in Ireland. We do the same thing. The sexual predator, that 26-year-old that sexually assaulted the 10-year-old Irish girl in the City West Hotel, he was let out on bail. He was given a deportation order to leave the country, which is nonsense. Nobody with a deportation order is ever going to leave, ever. That just doesn't even work, guys. That's like telling people to turn themselves in for crimes. It's just like ridiculous, you know?
This is incredible. First they let them in and then they let them out and then they put them back in again. It's the hokey pokey. Asylum Seekers featuring. Honestly, Esther Kraku, always great to see you. Thank you so much for your time.
She's amazing, Esther Kraken. Go check her out on X, also on Piers Morgan. But yeah, beautifully well said by both of them people, you know. Very, very educated, very well said. It's crazy that our government are still like this, guys. You know, we can't change it because they don't allow us to. Catherine Connolly now will be plunging us deeper into this socialist, communist, neo-Marxist hellhole for the next 7 years. Thank you, guys. The last news story we have here is pure corruption from head to toe. We have Davy Fitzgerald talking about the abuse aimed at his son after he was given a suspended sentence. He says, I felt that it was my fault. Of course, the only reason his son Colm got off this suspended sentence is because of Davy Fitzgerald and how rich and famous he is, guys. Okay, if I was caught laundering money of 40,000, I would be in jail for 10 years probably. I wouldn't even get coverage on the mainstream news about it. This guy, I think he laundered like 30 to 40,000 euros, something like that, and he basically placed it all on bets, which I feel sorry for people. Betting is this thing now. It's this evil manufactured thing by the mainstream to push betting on kids and younger people. Betting this. I get ads every single day on YouTube, on flipping X, every day betting, place bets, Paddy Power, booking here, this, da. It's horrendous stuff. So I do feel sorry for the kid, like for this guy, for this young fella who got caught in that. Maybe if he wasn't so rich, he wouldn't have money to place bets like that. But he stole the money from working in the Bank of Ireland, a job that I actually applied for. Thanks, Bank of Ireland. You messed up there. I tried to get a job at Bank of Ireland as a welcome advisor, and they said no, I wasn't qualified enough. With my 4-year degree and my vast background in marketing and sales, I could have brought people in. Instead, this guy got hired and he robbed the place of 40 grand. Let me know your thoughts on that. If you want to support me, hit the join link underneath the video so I can help support you guys push back against the woke Irish mainstream media, of course, and the Irish government. Hope you enjoyed that video, and I'll see you all in the next one, lads. Peace.